Hey, what's good, Jets Nation? Let's cover the game. So Robert Saleh gets his first win. That's really exciting. And it came in a fashion that we're not used to. The game overall was really efficient. If we're talking about who's kind of trending up, who's trending down after the game. If we think about the quarterback, Zach Wilson, he seems to have learned from what happened in the green and white scrimmage. So we've seen him have a pretty efficient game, 6 of 9. I think it was 64 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions or turnovers of any kind, though. Mike White had himself a 100-plus yard game, and he kind of led the only touchdown drive of the night. Zach Wilson was able to get us 3 points on one of his 2 field goals, and then we seen James Morgan kind of finish things off. The running game as a whole, I want to say that they're trending up. It might be a little bit more of a neutral thing, slightly positive. We almost hit 100 yards total for the game if you take out some of the negative rushing yards that came from the quarterbacks. I think we would have been exactly at like 99. But LaMichael Perine, he got a fair amount of attempts, 12 rushes for the night, 30 yards. He gets a touchdown. So that's the only touchdown of the game we're actually able to get. But he might be able to kind of make a case for himself as, that kind of what everybody expected. Third down, short, fourth and 1, goal line situations. And that might be his opportunity to kind of shine and where he'll stand out from the rest of the pack based on his skill set. Denzel Mims, he's been continuing to get positive praise. He had an excellent game, 51 yards on 3 catches. 3 of 4, basically, he brought in. Vincent Smith, we've seen him kind of appear and have some solid games over the course of, the last season for us. So really excited to see definitely that Mims was able to kind of take advantage of this game. Maybe we'll see him get more reps and kind of run a little bit more with that first, second string offense heading into the next preseason game. Heading into the joint practices and stuff that we'll have coming up as well, I think that's a huge plus. If we switch over to, by the way, the offensive line looked pretty solid. We only had 1 sack on the night, and that was by Zach Wilson. But overall, really effective. I'm waiting to kind of see what happens with the right tackle battle based on the results from today. I'm not quite sure who got the nod. I wasn't able to catch the game just yet. But if we switch over to the defense, the pass defense had a spectacular night. 5 sacks on the day. The run defense left a little bit to be warranted. We allowed over 100 rushing yards, but overall, I couldn't be happier. There's a lot of names. Hamilcar, I think he had 2 sacks on the night. And then there's a few other contributors which came from the second and third string defenses of all things. We didn't have to rely solely on the first team defense, but we did shut them out during the first half of the game, and it wasn't until I think early in the fourth, late in the third, that the offense for the Giants was even able to get on the board. So overall, really effective game. We heard we heard Najruddin. We'll go with that. I can't remember the full name. But he had a really solid ending to the first half. Jamian Sherwood showed up a lot. I think he had 4 tackles on the night, and just overall, really effective game. There's a lot of names that I've seen in that sack column, racking up tackles for losses that I haven't necessarily heard of consistently. More of the super in-depth Jets fans that are, going to training practice and stuff. They may be familiar with some of these names, which I'll do probably a more in-depth breakdown instead of this immediate reaction a little bit later. But overall, the theme of the night is really effective night. I wish we could have had a breakdown of, a ton of points being scored. But overall, every quarterback was effective and efficient. And the running game, it wasn't super impressive, but we got the job done. So I think there's definitely a lot of things that we'll be able to work on from a communication aspect. But the arrow's definitely pointing up. Everybody looked very comfortable-ish leading into this game, and I think there's a lot of things that, we should be feeling good about walking away from this game. But let me know who you were most excited seeing. I can't wait to really break down and see the actual highlights from tonight. I'm kicking myself that I missed the game, but there's a lot of business that needed to get done. So looking forward to kind of breaking that down a bit later. But overall, we know, it's not like we went against the first team offense, defense the entire time, anything like that. But For what we were up against, I think everybody handled it effectively. There was no real red flags other than maybe the rushing defense, I would say. Even from special teams presence, nothing nothing went terribly wrong. Chris Nagar went 1 of 2, and I think he had an extra point that he made, and then Amendola made himself an extra point. So maybe they'll flip and see if Amendola can get some more opportunities in the next game. But I would say we probably broke even on the kicker battle. We don't know where we kind of stand with that. From a punting perspective, Braden Mann really nailed it. 5 punts, 3 of those landed within the 20. So once again, first W, unofficial for the season, but let's get it, Jets.